I just got a 10-0 for Spring Cup with this team that I'm gonna showcase today. We're gonna lead with Jellicent having a double grass backline, pretty unique as a team composition, but at the same time pretty strong because we're gonna utilize Jellicent in the meta of Spring Cup, which is gonna have a lot of weaknesses, but at the same time it will give us a lot of answers, especially against those Poliwraths that have risen in popularity lately. So without any further ado now, cue the intro. Let's begin today's content with Jellicent up in front having at the back a double grass backline. So Shiftry here is gonna be one of the worst ones, if not the worst one that we can get with our Jellicent, only because we have nothing to throw up against it. Of course you can try your own version with Jellicent with Ice Beam, but I think that with Surf you get access to a move that you can use as a bait, which is pretty great, especially under shielding for your lead option. Anyways, we still managed to completely farm down here that poor Abomasnow Snow, which is absolutely great for us, and those Hando IVs that I have on Resurrect, well, they absolutely worked anyways. So I figured out that 100% Resurrect is still kinda good for Great League, that's why I went for it, not because I had another option or whatever. I just had the Hando, checked it on Pokegenie, and of course it gave me some decent results, so I was like, let's make it. You never know when you might need a high attack Resurrect, especially on a cap that Resurrect is absolutely everywhere. So with the one shot now up against that Shiftry, we managed to have a very positive scenario for our Jellicent on the end game, and even though they can hit us here with that Hurricane, I'm pretty sure we can outspeed to the next charge attack before they even farm down, since we can get to that Surf in no time at all. Down goes Pelipper, and with it we managed to get the first victory of this video. Into the next battle now with another bad lead, this time up against the Ferrothorn. What we need to do here is to try and potentially catch one move on a Roserade, and I was trying to catch on that 5th bullet seed because this is the limit for that Thunder mark, so yeah, I was kinda going for it. So anyways, over here we get the chance to flip around that very bad lead, and on the worst case scenario we managed to get the shield, which is absolutely great as well. So Jellicent now can easily return into the battle, go for the Shadow Ball and the one shot up against the Pelipper. I'm expecting that Ferrothorn to return, to be honest, so at some point I might actually try to catch once again, but my opponent knows better and able to farm up a little bit extra. Flash Cannon now, and whatever move they throw is absolutely manageable for my Pokemon, and whatever they might be having at the very end cannot be much worse than this Ferrothorn for my Jellicent, so I'm just happy with the outcome. So Flash Cannon here is coming up once again, Quillfish at the very end, which is a Pokemon that I am not seeing that often, and now with those Power Whips we managed to get almost the knockout with one move. So here comes now the Aqua Tail to finish us off, and of course Jellicent will stand on the higher ground here because of that amazing typing that we have, able to resist pretty much whatever they throw. Now it's all up to the return of the leaders because we got Jellicent, they got Ferrothorn, but we are both severely hurt. Unfortunately for them though, even though they got the shield, we also got one, which means that we can absolutely outspeed now to the back-to-back moves, and we get a very close victory for our team with a very bad alignment. Into the next battle now with another bad lead, another Ferrothorn. We got already 3 battles into this video, and all of these 3 battles are with the worst possible lead scenarios, and if that doesn't worth at least a like, I don't know what does. Anyways, able to get here to the Shadow Ball for a lot of damage on that Ferrothorn, which means that one more might actually do the trick, and since they're over farming a lot, I figure out that they're gonna throw anyways, so I'm just gonna try to catch on my Roserade, and obviously catching the move is one of the best strategies that you can do with this team on your at least one backline Pokemon. So here comes now that weird Mobile, and I'm pretty sure that we managed to get the farm down in no time at all, so it all depends on what they might be having as their third, to be honest. And as it seems, this is a sandwich team to protect that Mobile from water types, because they got a Ferrothorn and a Lantern, 2 Pokemon that can finish off other water types with ease. So anyways, now my own Ferrothorn will come into the battle, able to completely wall down that poor Lantern, and I realize that my Jellicent will actually have no play at all up against the Ferrothorn, but instead might actually be pretty good for that Lantern. Anyways, with the higher HP limit that we have on our own Ferrothorn, we managed to get the amazing hard push on their end. So here comes now the Power Whip, which is double resisted but still will do the job. And now that this Lantern is returning, we got the shield, they have 0 shields, and 1 Power Whip later we managed to get a pretty even victory for our team. Jellicent against the Pelipper now, and we're just gonna keep going at it with those moves because I'm pretty sure that this is a pretty neutral matchup for both ends. So Shadow Ball here is gonna be able to push a lot for those shields, so I guess there is no reason at all to go for the bait anyways, because if they call it, well, things can go sideways for us. So here comes out the Weather Ball. I decided to take the first one, and as it seems that was a correct call, but for the second one my opponent keeps baiting, which is a pretty nice baiting call as it seems, because we use a shield but they also use both of them shields in the process, and now they switch out to that Shadow Kingdra. So this Pokemon is pretty good, but only under shielding, because as it seems here we managed to resist pretty much whatever they throw, and even though Shadow Outrage will connect for a lot of damage, I'm pretty comfortable with my Ferrothorn to farm up a lot of energy in the process. So now with Pelipper returning into the battle, I'm pretty sure that this is just a Weather Ball which we can resist, and right after we can hit them with a heavy hitting Power Whip, having that second Grass type at the back. It all depends now on what they might be having at the very end, but to be honest, Roserade with a shield has nothing to be afraid of on the entire meta of Spring Cup, so we're just gonna keep going at it with Roserade able to close this match up against the Superior. I'm pretty sure that this Aerial Ace will not even connect here, so down they go to the Poison Jabs, and a few moments later they absolutely back out from this battle. Abomasnow now is a weird lead because those ice moves will be resisted for sure, but one single energy ball can absolutely be devastating for us. Look at how low we are already, so I would say that this is a bad lead overall that you can also not switch out as well, because the backline might be looking pretty strong with the Flash Cannon, with those Poison Jabs and the Weather Balls for that Abomasnow, but at the same time the ice moves are gonna add up in damage over time, so you definitely do not want to risk it a lot. So over here I try to come into the battle with my Ferrothorn, relying completely on my Roserade for the complete end game, and as it seems here we managed to snipe down their HP, but not before they reach to the Icy Wind, which is kind of a deal breaker for us. Anyways, now that Lantern comes into the battle in a weird switch, but I get it since they know now that I have a double grass backline. And with that serve we managed to block it, but at the same time we can easily almost farm down in the process. They're left with 1 HP, but this is a CMP, which means that we had to throw no matter what. And now with the Seeking coming in, I'm just gonna get my hands on the Grass Knot as soon as possible. Down they go with the one shot. Perhaps they were thinking that we were baiting, but this is not the issue at all, and we managed to get a well-earned victory. Lantern is another bad lead. All this video is all about bad leads, so I don't know what you're expecting me to do here. I'm trying the best for that quality content that you want to see. So anyways, down we go now to those Firefangs on the switch. Not only a bad lead, but a horrible switch, as this Mobile is able to completely farm down my Roserade, and in the process here I decide to block, and hopefully that was a Thunderbolt. So it all depends now on my Ferrothorn having the upper hand on the third Pokemon, and over here I will try to catch another move, but this is not the issue at all. Hopefully they do not have another weird counter to my Ferrothorn, but instead a Jump Lab, so perhaps we can have a chance over here. Flash Cannon now will connect, I guess, on that Jump Lab for about 50%. So this means that one more might actually do the trick over here. Aerial Ace will be taken, but they still have 2 shields which they need to start using as well. So that's why I'm going here for the bait. I was counting on them not blocking for sure, actually blocking, not blocking. Anyways, and right after we got the Shadow Ball for the Lantern, which follows up our switch into the game. Jumbluff now has to throw the energy as soon as possible, and I was pretty sure that they were gonna throw at this point, but they are not gonna fall for my trap because Jumbluff here decides not to block the surf. They were counting my moves for sure, and right after, this is gonna be a heartbreaking loss because we did absolutely whatever we could and we cannot get there to the move because of those perfect IVs that I have on my Ferrothorn. And I say perfect, but they are not for PvP for sure because they are coming up for that Ultra League format most probably. This is a hand of Ferrothorn after all. And speaking of Ferrothorn, the next and the final team that I'm gonna face for today's content is gonna be led by another Ferrothorn, which is another bad lead for my Jellicent. And you can see here that this Pelipper also has the upper hand up against my Roserade in the process, which means that we are actually having not only a very bad lead but also a bad switch in as well, which is kinda common for today's content. So Weather Ball now on my Jellicent, we managed to farm up a lot of energy in the process, so now we get our hands on that Shadow Ball. Not only one, but two on that Ferrothorn, which means that they're getting super low. That second one was on the CMP range, which is pretty great for us. Now we can absolutely rely on our Ferrothorn for the closing part and with having those two shields on our back. So here comes now a move which I don't care at all, to be fair. We can survive it for sure, and another flash cannon, but this time from my end to theirs. So here comes now a move, and I'm pretty sure that I need to block at some point, but I was counting at this moment and I was kinda on a very good spot because I was thinking that this has to be something like a power whip no matter what. So instead, I let that move go through. I rely on those two shields for the very end game, and Tentacruel here will drop our defenses with that acid spray. This can get now super close, but all I want to do is to just get as soon as possible to another power whip to finish off that poor Tentacruel. They got two Pokemon, but with one wing attack and one bullet seed later, we managed to get a draw up against a very skillful opponent. That was an amazing content for today's video. I believe that you enjoyed it, and if you really did, show that with your appreciation by liking this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new to my content, and over here I have two videos for you to check out. Feel free to check them out, and I will catch you up later into the next one.